Hey guys, Todd Anderson here doing another Magic Online video for your viewing pleasure. Today we're going to be playing a little bit with Joel Larson's Pro Tour winning mono red list. What makes this deck different from the traditional mono red decks we've seen in the past is we're not really going under our opponent with a bunch of token generators like Hordeling Outburst, Dragon Fodder, and then trying to combo kill them with a Targo's Command, or I guess going around them, not really under them. Instead, we are actually trying to go under them with a bunch of cheap one-drop creatures, a bunch of cheap removal spells like Wild Slash, Searing Blood, Fiery Impulse, and trying to let our creatures do most of the work. And if they can't, we do have a bunch of 4 damage burn spells to finish them off. Let's start with the mana base. 21 mountains, pretty straightforward. No fetch lands to thin the deck. I think in a format where mono red is going to be popular, having any sort of fetch lands to deal you damage is going to be a severe drawback. 1 point per game could easily matter. But yeah, other than that, we have a creature base of 3 Zergo Bell Striker. I've seen a lot of lists play 3 of these, and I've been wondering if playing 4 is correct, simply because it is one of the best 1-drops that you can have. You have other 1-drops that are better at different points of the game. Monster Swift Spear and Lightning Berserker are both great on like turn 2 and 3 and 4 because you can play it. It has haste. You can dash it with Lightning Berserker and then either pump it if it's a Berserker, or pump the Swift Spear by killing your opponent's creatures or just throwing damage at their head. The biggest addition to this version of the deck is Abbot of Carol Keep, one of the Magic Origins creatures, 2 mana, 2/1 prowess, and when it comes into play, you get to Shandra 0 for the rest of the turn. So this card is really good in a deck that has a bunch of 1-drop cards in it. You can draw Abbot of Carol Keep at almost any turn of the game, and it's going to be good. You want to try not to play it on turn 2 if you can help it, simply because in a lot of matchups you're going to be trying to grind your opponent out, and any spell you can hit off of it is going to be better than not hitting a spell. I would say Abbot of Carol Keep is way more like a 4-drop in this deck, but as a tempo play, a lot of times on turn 3, you can cast it. If you haven't hit a land drop, hopefully you hit a land and get to play a 1-drop, or if you have a land to play, you hit a 1-drop spell, and then you can cast the 1-drop spell. It's going to be one of the easiest ways to get to 3 mana, since you do have Exquisite Firecraft, and since you're not playing Hordeling Outburst and Dragon Fodder, Stoke the Flame is actually not as much of a free roll in this version as it is in the other versions of Red. Pardon me, just drank some soda. So the removal spells in the deck, we have 4 Wild Slashes and the 5th Honorary Wild Slash in Fire Impulse. This one can't hit players, but it does kill Deathmas Raptor and a few other 3 toughness creatures that could end up mattering. 4 copies of Lightning Strike, 4 Searing Blood, 4 Exquisite Firecraft, and 4 Stoke the Flames. We are just trying to light them up. We expect our creatures to do somewhere around 8, hopefully 10 damage, and then our burn spells are there to just mop them up afterwards. We're going to be able to put our opponent down to about 4 life in a bunch of different scenarios and just need to draw either a Stoke the Flames or Exquisite Firecraft. And if we don't, we might end up losing. So, that's just kind of the drawback of playing a red deck. But since we do have Abbot of Carol Keep, we actually have additional redraws to hit those spells, assuming that we have enough mana to do so. The sideboard is interesting in that it brings back the often forgotten Satyr Fire Dancer. This card is exceptionally good with Searing Blood, and it's really great against decks without a lot of removal spells. Green Devotion, things like that. Even Heroic, maybe not Ban Heroic, but definitely Blue-White Heroic. Satyr Fire Dancer threatens to let all of your burn spells also kill their creatures. If your opponent is light on removal, or if one of their major sources of removal is Abzan Charm, then Satyr Fire Dancer could be fairly problematic for them. Being able to deal them 4 with Stoke the Flames or Exquisite Firecraft while also killing their creature is a huge tempo boost, while also slowly getting you closer to the end of the game. We have 4 Eidolon the Great Revel. Most decks are going to be lowering their curve to interact with you. This card is phenomenal against Ban Heroic, Blue-White Heroic, any other creature-based deck. When you're on the play, I think Eidolon is going to be great. But for the most part, it comes in against almost everything on the play, and maybe not on the draw in the mirror, because you can get just obliterated by your own card. You don't want your own card to deal you too much damage in some matchups, and in the matchups where your life total is significant, that's probably where you don't want Eidolon of the Great Revel. We have 4 Roast to help out against Tassigurs and Siege Rhinos. It's also good at just killing off Coursers and stuff for 2 mana. 2 Arc Lightning to help out with token-based strategies or little dinky mana accelerator decks. This card's pretty good against Green-Red Devotion because it can kill Xenagos, or it can also just kill, if your opponent goes like Llanowar Elf into, or sorry, Elvish Mystic into Rattleclaw Mystic, or even Voyaging Satyr in the more dedicated ramp strategies. Arc Lightning is almost always going to be a 2-for-1. And then lastly we have Shandra. In case the game goes long, this card is fantastic in any sort of mirror match because there are so many 1 toughness creatures. Well, maybe not so much in this actual mirror, but it's still good in that setup since she comes in, she can tick up to 5 loyalty, which is pretty tough to kill straight away, and especially so if you're able to pick off one of their creatures with her +1. Basically, she's going to be great against any deck where her +1 is good, and she's going to threaten to do a lot of damage to somebody who isn't able to pressure it. So expect Shandra to come in a lot of post-board games, as well as Eidolon the Great Revel. Anyway, guys, that's all for the deck tech for Joel Larson's Red Aggro from Pro Tour Magic Origins, placing first. We'll be playing that in a few matches, an 8-man, and then if I lose out early, just some heads-up cues. But we're going to be doing 4 matches of that, followed by a conclusion. We'll be right back.